my presentation?
Ma'am, you can, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So I'll answer one of the queries asked by the audience here. He was asking about the relationship between the width of the device H fin and the width of the fin. I'll answer that and then I'll proceed with my thing. So in one of the presentation, I have just given that the gate length L is of the FinFET is L, and the width of the device, okay, of your FinFET is quite different, and the width of a FinFET is defined as W is equal to, sorry, this is a capital one, capital W. Okay, so the width of the device is given as 2 into H fin plus T fin. T fin, this is your H fin is the width of the fin, height of the fin, and T fin is the width of the fin. So how that is related to this? Yes?
Ma'am, kindly go into the presentation mode, ma'am. That will be better, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now it's okay? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Width is equal to 2 into H fin plus T fin. And here is, they try to say that some of the literature refers the fin thickness as the fin width. But the W is the length of the device, and W, the capital L is the length of the FinFET, and W is the width of the FinFET is given by this form. How this form they are arriving is, the W is defined above is indeed the width of the gate region. So we have to take into this definition, width of the gate region that is in touch with the channel in the fin. Okay. So if I try to go to this figure, okay, so the width is the gate, the channel region in contact with this one. Okay, so this is the region they are telling this to be the width. Okay, so this is the contact of the gate with the fin. Okay, two sides it is having contact. So width of the gate region that is in touch with the channel in the fin is on the two portions of the gate it is touched. So only we try to have here this formula. 1 minute. This formula as 2 into H into Fin plus 2 Fin if a third gate is above the fin. If the third gate is above the fin, then the width of the FinFET is defined like this way. This is how they try to come out for the definition of the width of the fin, width of the device is equal to 2 into the height of the fin plus the width of the fin. T fin corresponds to the width of the fin. If the triple gate, if the gate above the fin is absent, then we will not use the T fin. Okay, we will try to use only the, because that portion of the gate is not connected to the channel. So T fin will not be there. So for a double gate like that, the effective length will be, you can try to say that it will be equal to your 2 into H fin. So that is the reason they try to say that the width of the device is 2 into F fin. And also one more thing I want to make here is so when you increase H fin, we are actually it's an advantage only because we are increasing the width without increasing the planar layout area, and also the current ion also increases. But also there is a definite range, okay, beyond which you cannot, HFIN cannot be increased. Otherwise, we'll again encounter the problem of short channel effects. Right. So this is actually the answer for the particular query asked. That is the width of the device is equal to 2 into HFIN plus your width of the device. This is again the planar view of the double gate. This is gate 1 and gate 2, and this is the conduction channels. Okay, we'll try to come to the presentation on the next part. Now first I'll try to discuss about the 13 and 14 nanometer challenges, and then finally I conclude with what are all the challenges posed in the 3 nanometer and 2 nanometer definition. So in the 16 or 14 nanometer FinFET fabrication, the challenges are on the custom side as well on the analog side, but also certain issues are with respect to the digital designers they should be aware of. So I'll be just mentioning the challenges in some point. We are also discussing the solutions of it. I think in the inaugural function, Veera Raglu addressed this concept of double patterning. Now this is again a challenge. We have a need for double patterning, that is using extra mask to get the futures to pin correctly at 20 nanometer and below. So that he has given in a slide. And layout also is having a challenges, and this has to be taken care of. So this is normally taken care of by a layout designer. Some layout issues I'll try to discuss in the coming slides. And one of the other challenges, because when we try to have the layers in the multi-gate FinFET, we can have more than 2 or 3 gate layers or more than 2 or 3 fin layers. So in that case, the resistivity between the top and the bottom layers are vary. So because of that, the potential variation is 50 times. So this is a very important thing which has to be taken care of. And electromigration also increases when you decrease the transistor size. And we have to come out with a lot of new and complicated design rules. And because in the technology which we are talking about, especially in terms of billions of transistors we are going to fabricate in the 16 nanometer or 14 nanometer, or we can try to say 2 nanometer. In a 2 nanometer, they are fabricating around 333 billion transistors are going to be fabricated. So that is the complexity which is going to be there. These are some of the challenges. And also the cost. It's a very important one. Okay, whether the foundries, they can support the cost to do the R&D and then come out with the fabricated units. So here, the Cadence, they just are telling that they have to spend around 1.2 million to 1.6 million dollars for design tool R&D. If I try to decrease the channel length from 20 nm to 14 nm and still going down. So this is again a very important challenge, cost. Cost is again a very important challenge. And the design tools which we have used for MOSFET cannot be used here in your FinFET because in the layout analysis, we have the concept of colorization, and we have the concept of double patterning, and then we have the concept of accurate parasitic extraction and estimation. So to handle this, new design tools has to be coming up in the market, and also it should have a very high capacity and it should have a fast run times. Another challenge is This I told you the width quantization when we are discussing about the FinFET. Here in a MOSFET, the designers can arbitrarily change the transistor width in order to manage the drive current. But here in FinFET, the designers cannot do this because the fin designed is going to be fixed. You cannot change the fin width, okay, or you cannot change the drive current. So it is there is no flexibility in FinFET to add or subtract a drive current in the fin. So you have to build another fin or go for either multi-gate FinFETs like that. So this we try to call the concept called as width quantization in your FinFET, because you cannot increase the width of the fin like 3/4 or something like that. Okay, because which can be done in an MOSFET, but you cannot do it in your FinFET. A body biasing cannot be applied in your FinFET. And also here we need because there is a lot of metal layers with a multi-gate concept. Lot of metal layers are going to be there. So we have to modify the device voltage threshold by biasing the bulk. So they try to say that we may require a large supply voltage which may not be available in your 13 or 14 nano, because in 13 or 14 nano M process probably we'll going for a supply voltage less than 1 volt. So 0.7 or 0.6 voltage will be going there. So that will not support this bulk. So this is also a challenging task. This is again, this already we have discussed there. Here we are trying to observe a flat sub-threshold current. That is after a particular, that's what we try to say, that the sub-threshold current becomes constant. So this is a advantage for the digital concept. But whenever you do for an analog design problem, they are based on measuring the current variations for a very small voltage variations between the source and drain of the planar device. So that is again a problem here, because easily the current may reach a constant level. So how the analog designers, because the analog designers, the voltages has to be slightly increased, and we try to see again an increase in the current, drain current. But that is not there present in your FinFET. So how the analog people or designers are trying to take care of is again a challenge. So when the device dimension reduces, there will be a new coupling to the neighboring elements, and this may appear as a parasitic capacitances or parasitic resistance between the different elements present in the device. Okay, so there may be an increase in the presence of the parasitic resistance and parasitic capacitance present in the FinFET device. Okay, so the device which is we are going to fabricate at your 16 and 14 nanometer. So this has to be taken care of. So that is what here, that is the effect we are trying to talk about. The CGS is the capacitance gate to source, CGD capacitance gate to drain. It will become larger, and it will include a Miller effect, and you may see the performance degradation because of this. And parasitic resistance in the source drain area may increase. As I already told you, increase in the resistance may decrease the current flow. So that is again a challenge which we have to take care of. So I told you layout is also trying to have lot of challenges because there are so many rules to draw a piece of layout, and to follow them becomes a very tedious exercises here. So we have to devise, okay, the researchers has come out with layout tools that must automate confirmation to the rules, because there are a lot of rules. Okay, if the rules are automated by a particular tool, then it is easier for the designer to do the design in a easy way and also in a faster time. This particular challenge is based on the physical concept. What is the side effect of how the fins are made? Here, this a self-aligned double patterning process, also called as sidewall image transfer, is normally used to create the fins in a FET device. But in an SADP, it requires that all fins must be aligned within the fin area. So the layout engineer are forced to conform to a localized grid of each FinFET area, and it is not always a simple uniform grid. See, although talking about the CC here, he should align all the fins. Okay, so in a straight way, that is very, very difficult, and keeping in the area at which very small area he is working out is also a challenge. Another problem faced by the digital designer is new design rules, double patterning colorization requirements, and more restrictions on access to cells and pins. So that is again a disadvantage to the digital designer. They are again, they have to change to these new rules. It's also more complex. So this is also one of the challenge. So the challenges may be on the characteristics or in the mechanical and EDA tools. Okay, so I think they have come out with certain EDA tools that can provide assistance both at the electrical characteristic side and also on the mechanical side for designing the FinFETs. Let me try to go to the because in the one of the EDA methodology proposed for your 16 for 14 nm digital technologies using the double patterning concept is given below. 1 minute. Anyway, that these are all the steps involved. 1 minute, I'll try to show you. So the first step the EDA tool should do is it should use the TCAD for parasitic extraction and spice simulation. So you can select a right combination of power, performance, and flexibility, which is applicable for the target application. So if I want to actually develop my transistor for mobile, or I want to just develop for an IoT, or I want to just design this FET for sensor applications. Okay, so based on the applications, okay, you can design your own circuit. Okay, so your own transistors can be targeted for that one. And the EDA tools also tries to help you with the place, route, sign off, and IP development. Floor planning, routing, placement routing, and double patterning correct also done by this. Okay, so they try to use the same mask rules in the left file. This I'll not go into deep. This is with respect to the people who are fabricating the chip. And the EDA tool should also validate all the power routing is free from double patterning violations. Very, very important, power routes as well as hard micros. So they should have a should help the designer. The EDA should help the designer to avoid the problems which may come across when the system is a design. Okay, it is continuing with the same one. Okay. Now, I try to tell you the coloring issues in the standard cell. These are all the 2 steps in the coloring issue. Insert spacing in between the violating metal shapes, and you can change the orientation of the standard cells to prevent or fix double patterning. So these things you can they can address the coloring issues. So these are all the steps here. So they should do an implementation stage check, and then finally they should come out with this is the final step, sign off. Sign off checks all the problems, okay, which may be occurring in the design, and because before the tape out, sign off should be there. So once the tape out is there, then after the tape out only we can test it. So before the tape out, everything should be tested to the design rules which is going to be followed for the design. So these are also, this says that there will be a routing difference when there is a metal layer 1 or a metal layer 2. So if the resistance of the metal layers are different, then how to route this one. So whether you can use a short distance route, or you can use a traverse long distance routes with a high metal layers to avoid the current should be the same. So when the resistance varies, you should find a proper route to route from one metal layer to do that. So you can even they can use some optimization methods to do that. That's all. They need some additional process rules. So here you can see the complication here. In this FinFET design, when you are talking about 16 or 14 nanometer design, it will have to handle design sizes up to 200 to 500 million instances at a full chip level. And for each block, 10 million instances it should take care of. So you can see the timing required to execute so many instructions, and which should be closed, which should be opened. Okay, and when it is working at the peak one, so whether the memory is supported to access all the data, and runtime methodologies is also very, very important here. This is again a challenging issue. And this particular clock concurrent optimization, merge clock tree synthesis, they can be applied to improve the performance requirements at this particular design. This parasitic extraction I already told you in the earlier one. And also the another challenge is the framework challenge of your FinFET. So how we are actually connecting the gates and the fins and the external contacts. So we have to pose a model here and study the current distributions, whether they are uniform or non-uniform. So modeling techniques are normally required to measure the high accurate resistance here. Even a lot of research has been doing by some people. I think some of my colleagues in the Tyagaraja College of Engineering, actually they are developing a lot of 2D and 3D models varying the structures of your FinFET. 1 minute, I'll try to show it to you. See, you can, they are actually studying some topics on a 2D threshold voltage model for triple gate material or alone silicon nanowire tunnel effect. And also they are modeling a tri-material gate work functions of engineering of gate for all around gate nanowire and performance analysis of silicon nanowires and comparative analysis of quantum effects in nanogale multigate MOSFETs and a transconductance to drain current ratio and subthreshold analysis of tri-material gate or around silicon. So these are some of the works actually, these are all research works. We are in this, all this research work, if we try to see that, they try to model the device, and for the modeled device, they try to find improvement with respect to the existing one. So in this case, there is a lot of research work is going on the modeling of your FinFETs. This you can do it using your HSPICE, and also some of the tools are Medici and Centaurus. You can use it for your modeling. Now, from manufacturing point of view, what is actually the complexity involved? Here is in the FinFET structure, the diffusion of the device moves from big diffusion polygons to the discrete fins. So the polyconductors run over the diffusions with two thicknesses, as does the contact layer from M1 to diffusion. So this is again a different technology at which we are fabricating your FinFET compared to your MOSFET, which is again a challenge. Because of this concept, metal poly and the diffusion process, it results in a capacitance which is 3D, and this capacitance actually requires a 3D modeling framework. So we need a high quality 3D solver to take care of these problems and to build the models. One more parameter which is very important here is polyresistance. Because in FinFET, polyresistance is again coming as a part of a 3D structure. And so the source drain resistance network may not be accurate in the partial contacted layout. So here you have to extract the correct resistance, because the resistance is not exact in the sense that this is due to the uneven electrical currents into the devices. So if you are not actually approximately calculating the resistance, so we may not be able to check what is the current flowing in the device. If a device failures also, we will not be able to identify. So we need models here to accurately address the extraction of the resistance of the network for a better accuracy for the performance of the networks. So other design challenges are wiring, self-heating, and process variability. Wiring is having an increasing impact on the quality of the results achievable, and the cross-sectional area of the chip wiring with each process generation is going to double its resistance per unit length. So to address these issues, the IC process developers have built complex metal stacks with wider, low resistance wiring on the upper levels. Because through the wirings only you have to connect the different components of the device. So it's a very important challenge with respect to the 16 or 14 nanometer. Again, place and route, already we have discussed earlier. This place and route with differing wire resistance with respect to each layer, and also allocating routing to optimal layers to meet the timing closure goals is again a problem. And again, lithography also plays a very important role in the place and route tools to make the routing as efficient as possible. This we have seen here, the gate capacitance effect, but here is due to the large currents in the narrow, because wires are narrow, they may create a high current densities, which may cause an electromigration issues. So this we have to take care of it. That's what electromigration management. So you should have an electromigration management such that we have an IC compilers that can analyze the current density issues for your RMS and peak values, and they can adjust the cell size and wire sizes to cope with any violation. Again, self-heating.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Now, are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So here isolating the channel of the FinFET brings advantages in terms of the effectiveness with which the gate can control the current flow through it. But this also leads to the greater thermal isolation from the bulk silicon, which can lead to self-heating. So this will impact the performance of the device. And one of the side effects of the self-heating is it can also heat the overlying wiring, and electromigration issues will become more. Okay, so this has to be taken care of. This has to be taken care of. Then process variability. You know that the process parameters, we have to see the voltage, current, temperature has to be varied. So here we have to see that the lineage, the width edge roughness, and the process density wiring affects the current density timing, and also it affects the leakage. Okay, so when we increase the RC parasitic and parasitic variability, it means the designers has to create cells and circuits that can cope up with such variability. So place and route tools must be enhanced to minimize the parasitics on timing. So these are, I can try to say that some of the challenges, there are some more challenges are there. I'll just mention it and then go. Let me try to go and take the next part, the challenges related to the transistor design with respect to 3 nanometer and 2 nanometer. Now we have a challenges in the tool. So we have the concept of one more, I'll mention it and go. So we have the problem of enablement and balance of power, performance and area, PPE, and tight integration with respect to the sign-off. So these are all the challenges which they are taking care, enabling, performance, power, area, and also the timing performance. Okay. This is again just to show that the increase in the resistance. You can see that also the capacitance is decreasing as the nanometer length is decreased, but from 16 to 7 nanometer, if I send, the resistance is increasing 3 times. Similarly, from 7 to 5 nanometer, the resistance is going to be increasing. So these are all also challenges with respect to the design in your 16 bar 14 nanometer. So we should actually having a low power IC compiler which may take care of the management to reduce the dynamic power. So these are some of the techniques: low power placement, low power clock tree synthesis, advanced clock gating, automatic banking, total power optimization are some of the techniques take care of the dynamic power allocation in your 16 bar 14 nanometer. And finally the sign off, a very important one. The increasing the number of sign-off corners required to cover the process and environmental issues. So when sign-off is going to take place, we are dealing with hundreds of millions of placeable instances. So we'll completely check the working of the each and every component and elements of this one. So this should also be a challenge. Okay. This already I mentioned as timing closure, IC compiler. Okay. Physical verification. So these are some of the modules they are using. IC compiler star RC sign off, and they are using TLU plus models to use a star RC extraction. So they have to do in sign off a multi-mode, multi-corner timing analysis. And a critical path optimization is normally done. So this is again, okay. One more challenge, I'll mention it and then go for the 3nm and 2nm challenges. So here when you go beyond 10 or 7nm, one of the technology they are talking about is metrology. I'll tell what is metrology and then we'll go for it. Metrology is nothing but it is the art of measuring and characterizing the structures and is used to pinpoint the problems in devices and the processors. So this helps in ensuring the yields are high both in the lab and the fab. In 28 nanometer technology, metrology is a straightforward process, but when you go to the less than 7 nm, then you have to make a lot of changes in the characterizing or measuring the performance of the structures. So this was because they have to talk about the 3D transistor structure with respect to the metrology. Okay. So these are all some of the references I have just handled for this challenges. Some of the pictures I have taken from FinFET Guide Tech Design forums, and mostly my presentation for this challenges is based on FinFET from devices to architectures by Debajit Bhattacharya, It's a Department of Electrical Engineering, Princeton University, Princeton. I think it is in the year 2014, and the most of my recent content is from this paper, Review of Modern Field Effect Transistor Technologies for Scaling. This is actually the article by Shubhoj Jang, and in the year 2020, Journal of Physics, okay, and some materials from Wikipedia. So now, as a last part of our discussion of our presentation here, we'll try to discuss transistors at 3 nanometer and 2 nanometer technology. Totally my presentation is from this paper. New transistor structures at 3 nanometer and 2 nanometer is a gate all around FETs will replace FinFETs, but the transition will be costly and difficulty. This is again article written by Mark Lapius in January 25th, 2021 in the journal Semiconductor Engineering. So that is the article. I am just taking the material from this article and presenting it to you. Because when we try to go in for 3 nanometer and 2 nanometer, 1 minute. This FinFET transistors, they try to do some modification to the FinFET transistors because you know that as the scaling miniaturization is there, okay, a lot of sub-leakage problems still more existed. They went in for 3 nanometer or 2 nanometer. So what they suggested was they used the FinFET with the gate all around the field effect transistors. So it is FinFET, but it is called as GAA, okay, which is normally implemented for the 3 nanometer and 2 nanometer nodes. And here this GAA FETs, they have a better performance, lower power, lower leakage, and we are not using FinFET when you go below 3 and below it. FinFET is not used. FinFET is not used with the 3 nanometer or 2 nanometer, but GAA is used. There are several types of GAA architectures in R&D. But the vendors are focusing on the dubbed nanosheets FETs. Basically, we can try to say that a nanosheet FET is a FinFET on its side with a gate wrapped around it. So that is what we try to call it as your nanosheet FET. The nanosheet FET, what is the advantage of this nanosheet FET is it is enabling higher performance chips at a lower power. So that is the advantage of your nanosheet FET. I think less than 1 nanometer or something, they are going for this type of technology. This is the comparison between, you can see this is your MOSFET, this is the FinFET, this is actually the gate all around. You can here see that we had a gate 1, gate 2, gate 3 like this. But here you can see that here the fin was vertical. The fin was vertical. But here you can see fins here. The fins are surrounded by gates on all the sides. Here the gate was actually connected to the substrate. And also the fin was connected to the substrate here. All the gates and the substrate and the fin are basically on the substrate. But you can see that the gates, the last one is on the substrate, but all the fins, if I try to say that, it is surrounded by the gates. It is surrounded by the gates. So this type of, and we have stacked here so many number of fins. So it's a FinFET with a gate all around it with a multi-gate technology. You can see that it is a multi-gate technology only. So this is what we try to call it as a GAA, gate all around FET. Here in the GAA technology, The key characteristics is the threshold voltage. Here I talked about voltage less than 1 volts, okay, but here in 3 nano nm we are talking about voltage of 0.3 volts. So we have a better switching with a lower standby power compared to if I try to use there are 3 nanometer FinFETs are there, but with the gate all around technology, we can switch the switching is faster and with a lesser supply voltage and with a less power. So this was actually by Handel Jones. It was said by the Handel Jones. He is the CEO of this company IBS. But the problem here is key challenge with the GAA technology is for its IP qualification, that is intellectual property qualification, it may cost 1.5 times what it costs for a 3 nanometer. That is the cost wise. This is higher, but performance wise, it's better than your FinFET. So we can say that early GAA devices will use vertically stacked nanosheets, and they are surrounded by gate materials on all sides. This is what in the structure I explained it. Okay, so what is GAA? If I try to see the companies which are coming out with 3 nanometer and 2 nanometer, Samsung, if I try to say, they had come out, already have come out with 7 nanometer and 5 nanometer. But they are introducing, we can try to say that nano sheets at the 3 nanometer currently. In 22 and 23, they'll be introducing the 3 nanometer concept. And again, they are using some concept of GAA only. Whereas this TSMC, they have proposed to migrate to 2 nanometer in the year 2024 and 2025. This is according to IBS. Intel and other companies are also working on your nano sheets. What is a nano sheet is the first nano sheet will consist of traditional silicon based channel materials, but silicon sheets arranged one after the other. That is what the stacks of silicon sheets are arranged one after the other. That is what we try to call it as a nano sheet. Possibly now they are using silicon germanium concept, they are using it, but the next generation may use high mobility materials. They may, that is the group 3, group 5 materials in the periodic table, they may try to use, because we are trying to go in for a maximum frequency of operation of 4 gigahertz. Even I think in the inaugural function it was mentioned. Okay, that is now we are the maximum speed at which all the transistors can work it at 4 megahertz. So that can be done with the concept of your nano sheets. Okay, so again, Intel is actually using the implementing the nano sheet PMOS device with a strained silicon germanium channel materials. Okay, but other channel materials, they are telling that it is in your R&D. And here the TSMC, they told that with the fab cost will be around $20 million to manufacture with this reducing the chip to 3 or 2 or 1 nanometer. And this we have already showed here. So now from FinFET, we are replacing but gate all around FETs. So here with the gallium arsenide GAA, with the 3, this is actually specifications with respect to 7 nanometer, again they have problems. But with the 3 nm, they want to the size of the transistor to be reduced by 0.7 times with a 40% boost in performance and with a 50% power reduction and area. Very critical. So they have to go for new materials, new processes and different manufacturing equipments to show it. This again in the inaugural section, Veeraglu has mentioned the trailing and leading edge nodes. This based on the applications. For example, the front edge, the leading edge is normally used method as if you demand more and more computing power, we may try to go in for a leading edge concept, leading edge nodes. Whereas when you try to go for IoT and other high volume, low cost applications, they try to use the trailing edge nodes. So when we go for the trailing edge, leading edge concepts, sometimes the FinFETs, they practically approach a limit of 5 nanometer, which equates to a 3 nanometer node. When the fin width, we are trying to talk about 5 nanometer. We try to call this the technology 3 nanometer node process. And here also one of the specification is the contacted poly pitch. They reach a limit around 45 nanometers with a metal pitch at 22 nanometers. Very critical parameters are there. Okay, this is again. Again, I have already mentioned silicon-based materials for both PFET and your NFET. Okay, they told that each manufacturer, they try to come out with a 7 nano sheets and 7 silicon sheets, and they told that there is a 3 times improvement over the 2-level stacked nano sheet. Okay. Whether to go in for a nano sheet with a wider sheet or a narrow sheet, but again they have a compromise. When we use a wider nano sheet, it provides more drive current and performance. But when I use a narrow nano sheet, it has less drive current, but it takes up a small area. It's again a trade-off. Smaller area, less drive current. Wider area, larger drive current, but cost is also increasing. So this is again comments on the GAA. So on this today, we can, if I try to talk about Samsung has plans to introduce the first nano sheets at 3 nanometer at 2020-23. And TMC also plans to extend FinFETs to 3 nanometer and then move it to nano sheets. And they are telling Samsung is a clear leader in 3 nanometer. Okay. Cost is high. So again, but you get the benefits of low power consumption speed, higher speed and higher memory in the packaging area. So with respect to GAA, what we have to do it is to optimize the device on the underside of the structure because the same surface preparation, but multi times it has to be there. So that is a challenging one in your GA. Okay, this I'll try to move it. This I'll not go into it. Okay, that is again the process variations. I'll not go into it. We'll try to come to the these are again whatever we have discussed only here is presented. Okay, these are all some of the materials I want to mention it here. They are using a relaxed silicon germanium concentration with silicon 0.7% and germanium 0.3%. Okay, so I told you the concept of strained silicon germanium. They may be used for using the nanosheet. So these are some of the approaches they try to use it to develop nanosheet. Now this is how it looks like. How to make a, you can see that how to make a nanosheets, a silicon germanium, silicon germanium based on, this is a super lattice of silicon germanium grown top of the silicon substrate. So this is how finally the nanosheets looks like. So in terms of the performance of power benefit, you can see that from planar it improved to FinFET, and finally it is improved to GAA FET, and from GAA FET we are even going for other technological advances. I'll mention it here. Okay, this is with respect to the operating voltage comparison. The operating voltage also you can see that it has gone down. Okay, with respect to GAA it has gone down. Okay, 0.3 volts we are. Here we are talking about 1 volts, 1 to 3 volts we were talking about with respect to planar MOSFETs. Okay. So reducing operating voltage. This is a comparison of Samsung GAA. Samsung has actually has implemented a modified GAA in the sense that it is a multi-bridge channel FET. Okay. So which uses the Shano sheet device. Again, there is again a combination of a nanowire concept. Whether going for a nanowire concept or to the nanosheet device, it remains to be seen. But they have, Samsung has come out with a nanosheet concept, and they use the gate around all around concept using a multi-bridge channel FET. IBM has developed a silicon germanium channel. So in the 6th May, they have come out with, we can try to say that they have projected the 2 nanometer chips which they are going to bring will achieve a 45% improve in performance, a 75% lower energy than today using the advanced 7 nano. This is what IBM says that. And they try to say that it will allow 2 nanometer chip with the 50 billion transistors on a chip with the size of a fingernail. So this is what the IBM projects. So 2 nanometer chip with the 50 billion transistors on the chip area. Already I have told this one. So that what I told you, the Samsung is having a multi-bridge channel field effect transistors. Now you can see the difference between planar FET, FinFET, GAA FET. GAA FET is also called as nanowire. In nanosheet, you can see that the width of this particular stacked layer is larger. So this they try to, this is actually a product of Samsung, multi-bridge channel FET. It is again a variation of your GAA only, but here you can see that the width of this fin is larger compared to this one. And it has a more advantages compared to your GAA FET, multi-bridge channel FET. And one thing I want to make a comment here is the term 3 nanometer has no relation to any actual physical features such as gate length, because normally we try to talk about gate length as the channel to be the channel technology, but in 3 nanometer it is not the gate length, it is only the properties. Okay, the performance in terms of increased transistor density, increased speed, and reduced power consumption. So that is what yes, we try to say about 3 nanometer and 2 nanometer is going to be different. So that is what I want to comment on this word 3 nanometer. Again, they are all actually commenting about their release of the product and what is the power consumption each node has. This is again just a power comparison in terms of core area and speed in terms of gigahertz. You can see that this is the 7 nanometer technology. Okay, in terms of core area and speed. And you can see that area has been reduced from 7 to 5 and some 5 to 3. Okay, so you can see that area has been, logic density has been reduced, speed has been increased, power has been reduced. Okay, this is the picture at 2022. Picture at 2022. This I want you to go through this, just see this slide because the projection on the next slide is based on this. This slide gives you a view of a year at which these transistors were released. In 2017, a 10 nanometer equivalent FinFET was released. In 2019, a 7 nanometer called, we try to call it as lateral gate all around, which I try to call it as an nanowire. This is the structure which looks like. In 2021, they had a 5 nanometer equivalent. We try to call it as a vertical transistor, vertical gate all around the FET. So here the transistors were lateral. Here it was vertical. You can see the layers there. It was vertical. In 2024 to 2033, the expectation is 3 to 1 nanometer. Here the stack like this. Okay, a monolithic 3D. So they can have the gates. You can see the gates. Then this is the source and drain. Okay, so stack of layers. That is what is the technology we are trying to talk about. This is a nanowire. This is a nano sheet. This is a silicon on insulator on the fabrication differs. So lateral GAA, vertical GAA, monolithic 3D. And this is nano sheets. You can see the width of the sheets are higher. Here it is smaller. In the side view, it looks like this. This is the FinFET. This is the LGA. And this is the VGA. Vertical channel. Because gates are vertical, source and drains are coming here with a metal layer. This is actually the roadmap. So only I want you just to see that at 2022, they are talking about FinFET and LGAA. But in 2025, they will be talking about they are actually talking, these are all the foundry nodes, LGAA only, and LGA. FinFET will go off in 2025. And 2028 and 2031, they are talking about LGGA and VGGA and 3D structures for your LGGA at 2031. And 2034 also, they are proposing new structures. And these are all logic technology materials. You can see that silicon, germanium, silicon and 2D materials, and stacking, different stacking will be there. Again, these are with the nodes, N2, N3, N4. So with respect to the nanometer technology, they have different nodes. So we are talking about 3 nanometer. It is going to be we can see that logic, how many logic nodes, and their performance is going to be improved as the nodes are decreasing. So in May 2021 now, currently it announced, IBM has announced it has produced a 2 nanometer chip making technology with 50 billion transistor. It means that 333 million transistors per square millimeter. So this is the current release last May. IBM has released a 2 nanometer chip making technology. So a conclusion. So gate all around is the technology which is going to be used now, and then followed by LGAA, VGAA, and with 3D structures. And they are also coming out with the advanced packaging and new device architectures is going to come. And also researchers are exploring other semiconductors with high mobility charge carriers such as germanium, indium arsenide, and gallium antimony. So they have used a combination in National University of Singapore. They have used a combination of indium arsenide and gallium antimonide and studied its performance. It was good. But they can also go in for just using germanium alone, because germanium it is fastest one, because the carriers is holes, it's fastest one. But the problem here is process and reliability issues it has. So that if the industry takes care of, still they can go in for a doped germanium. So finally, I conclude that the integration of high mobility semiconductor materials, nano transistors could well carry us as far into future as anyone can foresee. Thank you.
Audience, you have any queries? There is no more session. It is time for saying our gratitude. Ma'am, thanks a lot, ma'am. We had a nice presentation and also very useful input for the present and the future researchers. It is very new technology you have explained. Definitely, it is very helpful for us, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thanks for your
Thank you,
support
Pa.
also, ma'am. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
It is a small information. Sheetal Singh, I think. Sir, your number is, your name is there. It is in the sheet. It is 79. And L Prabhagar, I think. ELE Prabhagar or L Prabhagar. Your number is 115, sir. In the sheet, it is 115. Please don't make more rows. Don't make any more rows. Your name is there. Please check once, and then if you are not finding, please let me know. I'll find and say. Any questions, sir? Or we will wind up?
ma'am.
Any queries? And also, for your afternoon session, it is about implementation of FinFET technology. Implementation of FinFET technology using HSpice. Okay, it's a hands-on session. I hope that you are ready with HSpice 2019. Yes, afternoon we'll meet by 2 o'clock. Thank you so much. There is no more queries or anything else. We'll wind up the session. Thank you.
Okay, sir. We are trying to
thank you.
install, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Even you have any trouble, we have the team. They'll be help you, but not now. Today evening.
Okay. Sorry, sir.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah.